Whether you've been in Spain for 6 months or 6 years, don't miss Pellicer and Heredia in conversation with Moody on BayRadio every other Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pellicer and Heredia are your international lawyers on the Costa Blanca and have been looking after the expat community for more than a decade. See more at alicantilawyers.es.
Let's catch up with Ignacio from Pellicer and Heredia. Back after a few weeks. Good to see you back in. Welcome back. Buenos dias.
Buenos dias, Moody. Back again.
Yeah, bringing guests with you as well. Who's this?
Clara. Clara, she's a trainee solicitor and she's doing all the laws training in Spain and France. So I said just come on in and then just join Moody today.
Yes, and of course, the thing is, if you come in here, you don't have any choice. I just put you on radio. So we'll catch up with you in just a while here. Now, Ignacio, you spent some time in the UK, of course, training, and that, so you'll be used to Brits talking about the weather.
Yeah.
So it's what we do.
It's always like
Mind
that.
you, it's my judge of how hot it is when Spanish people say it's hot today. And this is unbearable.
Yeah, it's unbearable. To be honest, this early in the morning, I just walk out 6 o'clock and it was 27 in Alicante, and I said, wow. And
nobody needs that.
No.
And the thing is, in your job, you have to still dress fairly formally.
Yeah,
you don't have
not
to wear
ties
suit.
though now because it's unbearable.
No
obviously.
tie or suit jacket, but
jacket, but still just everything except. I'm not allowed to have swim tracks and things like that.
No,
but,
no going around in flip-flops. Not in your profession.
Yeah.
Now, because we'll do a couple more of these. So we'll do today, and then in 2 weeks' time, and then we kind of everything shuts down in Spain for August. I mean, how much do you sort of stay on duty, as it were, the office and the like? There must be stuff going on still.
Yeah, the office is going to stay open because we never shut down. There is always on duty here, but obviously the majority of lawyers. Will be on holidays in August, you know. But there is always one or two, 2 or 3. We 10 lawyers, and we're in total 20 people. So it makes it easier to swap. And some people comes in, some people goes out. So I mean, always we are there for people. That's in the old days probably when it was only Pedro and myself. And we both had to go, and off you go. But now when we are more people,
But I suppose the thing is, even if you are there working, you try and get hold of a notary or something. They're all on holiday.
Yeah, most people. But as you know, the laws will close except the criminal court. I mean, there is always an issue. They're always open, right?
Yeah.
Civil courts are closed, and notaries they probably have Tuesdays and Thursdays or things like that. It depends on the notary. But in every city, you have plenty of notaries, so we still could do it in a very different speed. Mind
you, I think there's probably some court cases to be caught up with, a bit of a backlog due to them all being on strike. Yes. What's happening with who's on strike this time?
Well,
anybody still out there?
Yeah, there is still. Now unfortunately we still have strike on different type of clerks, and obviously they still didn't reach an agreement, which is is unbelievable because. They should have done everything as a package. And we're still trying. I had a meeting, pre-trial hearing in Murcia, Cartagena, and it's been cancelled already 3 times.
Oh, right.
So we prefer not to go. I mean, we just lodge a letter through the courts saying we want to suspend it because it's a waste of your day.
Yeah, sure. You can't hang on for that. You've got other things to do.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, nobody pays for that because it's a waste of day, So... But hopefully we'll get over that, Moody, eventually. They've got to reach an agreement.
Well, you'd think so, yes.
Yeah. I hope so as well.
Okay. So I'll tell you what, did you hear this story about Aretha Franklin this morning? We may touch on this in a while, because she didn't leave a formal will. And this is something we've talked about quite a lot. Well, she is obviously the greatest singer of all time, pretty much. Didn't leave a will, and she's got 2 sons who are now fighting it out, which is probably that's something you'll have seen before as well. Family.
It's so unfortunate, you see. But obviously, if she never made a will, then probably is a can of worms.
Well, what's happened? They've found a handwritten note under the sofa.
Right.
That's named like one of her sons, or it's named the executor. But it's in the States. They've said that will pass as a legal document.
Well, it's all about evidence and validity of the evidence, and is to go through the court. If you have a will, is done and dusted. That's it. I mean, you could contest it. But I will give you 5% possibilities of destroy or make void a will, in front of a public notary here in Spain. But over there, in front of 2 witnesses, you'll have to contest it and say that these 2 witnesses, they were not capable to make they wouldn't make any sense to it, or will not be able to make any reasonable decision on, not in well capacity, right? But if there is no will and there is just a note, I know in the States, they just pretty much fight for everything.
Yeah.
It's not like here. So, yes, I think it will be a long, big case. I think...
I think it's kind of because there were 2 notes apparently, and they've just found this one. And one of the sons said it's been going on like 5 years. And he says he can finally breathe now. So that may have gone in whichever one it is, his favour.
Right.
This is sort of finally decided it.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is going to cost a fortune, all the fight.
Yeah.
And I wish them luck because, it's not going to be an easy trial. It's not going to be. But yes, if you have no will, there is no possibility at all to have anything established except the law. Now, obviously, if it benefits someone and there is a note in the States, the client, obviously, they will have no other option that push it forward. Because otherwise the law probably in the States, if there is an interstate, probably will say 50-50.
Sure. I
would understand it's 50-50 to the children if there is not any other false heirs, what we call it. So I think the beneficiary that probably is getting more, obviously, must lodge the claim to see whether he's going to get something extra.
Sure. And just a reminder, in Spain then, if you don't have a will and there aren't any handwritten notes around, what's the default thing? It goes to the children, right?
Right. In Spain, that's why I say always to clients, especially international clients, because if they haven't made a will and they are not Spanish, because if you are Spanish, we've got the law really is compulsory. I mean, we've got false heirs. And even though I make a will, I cannot dispose 100% of my assets. So I couldn't leave anything to charity, anything to...
Right.
I could leave a percentage. 2/3 goes to the children. And I could improve one better than the other one. That's allowed. But 2/3 must go to the children. That's, let's say, husband to wife, wife to husband is not allowed, right? I mean, you could put a clause protecting life interest to your wife or to your husband, but everything needs to go down the road, you see, down to the children. Now, the possibility for foreign, especially Americans, British, right, that they've got free disposal of assets, they've got the chance to name whoever they wish.
Yes, yeah, they do. The cat,
so
whoever
it's a big opportunity for them to put on writing their wishes, and as simple as that, pretty much, I mean, there is exceptions that they could contest a will if there are people dependent of them that is being pretty much left out of the will, but in general terms, you don't see these things happening, Moody. I mean, 1% or probably, you don't have court cases like that. So if anybody, I mean, if we're talking about different nationalities, the difference is that they have different law. So Latin laws, let's put it this way, the continental law, what we call it, we always have false heirs, like Portugal, Spain, France, Italy. We always still protect family. And this is something I always speak to the notary. It's got to be changed because, in general, when I've drawn up probably thousands already of wills, and everybody makes good sense of it, husband to wife, wife to husband, then children. If you're not in touch with children or you don't get along with them, then you leave it to whoever you wish. Right. In Spain, Spaniards were complaining that even people that say, well, my children don't ring me, they don't know me, I still need to leave that to children.
Because that's the law.
That's the law in Spain.
And
still.
things are changing, aren't they, family-wise, and people moving away from villages and the like.
Correct. And that's why I think, and only because the international community, especially the Americans and the British, have the opportunity the Commonwealth, basically, countries, have the opportunity of freedom of free disposal of assets, I think they should use it because it's great. I mean, we unfortunately cannot, but they could. And if they don't do it and they are a resident in Spain, the applicable law will be the Spanish law.
Yes, right,
which probably is not what you want.
Uh-huh.
That's what I'm saying. They've got special situation where they have an extra situation to do a will, because if they don't do it, they're going to inherit our law in that respect.
Yeah.
If they're living in France, it will happen exactly the same, because there was an act that was signed in Europe, and this country that did sign is 650/2012 European Act, that if you live in one of these countries and you're resident in one of these countries and you never made a will, the applicable law will be the signing, the law of the state.
Yes, sure.
That signed the treaty, which Spain did. Some clients said, Ignacio, but UK never signed. And I say, I know, in the UK, this doesn't apply. But you're here and you're a resident here. And if you don't, I don't see a reason why not to make a will, to be honest.
No, I mean, you can do two, can't you? You can do a Spanish will and a UK will if it's worth it.
You could do one in Spain, one in the UK. You could do an international will as well, to keep things simple, because some clients say, now, do I need to do two? And I always say, depending on what your assets are, if we're talking about bank accounts, I wouldn't do two. I would do only an international will in Spain. But if you have a very complex situation in the UK where you need executors in the UK and you have assets in Spain with executors in Spain, probably you could just keep it separate, do two, or just in one will, just make the difference. This is for a Spanish asset. This is for the UK asset.
Yeah.
You know, but in the UK, you will still need to go to probate, as you will do here. And but yes, Moody, going back to the first point, it is important to make a will.
Well, that's what I was about to say. It comes down to it. If you've got any assets, you've got a property particularly, make sure you've got a will in place.
Yeah. That's very, very important. I encourage people, actually, we did last Monday in Quesada an opening day to review wills for clients and people from outside. We did an open day to review their wills if they have questions. And even we brought someone from Mapfre to review the insurance policies, death insurance policies, etc. But anyway, if they miss the appointment, is not a problem. We could always organize an appointment. But one piece of advice I give people is just make sure you have at least one will. You could always change it. That's what I said to one client the other day. Just do a basic one, and then you could always change it.
Yeah, it may have been a few years and circumstances have changed, but you've forgotten to update your will.
Correct,
so maybe have a look at it. All right.
Yeah.
Got Ignacio in and Clara from BayRadio Heredia, international lawyers, based on the Costa Blanca, but travel around quite a bit and can deal with international law as well. By the way, this when was this webinar you were doing, the chat in Alicante?
Yeah.
Not the streaming one.
Well, the one that we're going to publish now, we had buying a property in Spain with a mortgage. And we did in Santander Work Cafe.
Oh, that's been, has it?
That's been done already.
Okay, yeah, I knew it was in July.
Yeah, that was the 5th of July, 5:30, but they didn't allow us at that stage to do it in streaming. So what we've done, we've recorded it, and we're going to do like a fake live or just introduce it to whoever, and then it will be on the live webinars list that we have in the website.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter. The information's still the same. It's relevant.
Yeah, it was quite interesting. It was a different one. You know, when you do these live things, people make a lot of questions, interact a lot, and the longer ones. But it was very good. And we are holding one, hopefully, for next Wednesday. I'm not sure we're going to hold the last one of the month next Wednesday or the following one.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about touristic license, apartments,
yes.
temporary license, short-term rentals, etc., etc. Because now we are on season, everybody asks these questions about the short rentals, the long-term rental, new law, etc., etc. So I think it could be quite interesting, but it will be published, Moody. I'll let you know.
Yeah, because it's becoming, in some areas particularly, a real issue with the neighbours, because you get tourists wandering into your block, and it's not meant for that.
Yeah,
people live there full time.
Yeah, it's quite uncomfortable.
Right,
but the owners need to apply for a license, and I understand, and I'm not saying If everybody behaves properly, I think it's not a problem. I mean, it's not a problem, but it depends on town halls. Town halls will allow you in certain areas to have that license. Some of them will not give you a license.
No.
You know, it'll be like, sorry, you don't have a license. You could only do long-term rentals or short-term rentals, but not as a touristic. As a touristic, it is when you publish on these type of platforms.
People come for a week at a time.
And they do everything online. But the short-term rental still allowed, even though you don't have a license. Okay, the short terms, I could rent it out my property for 3 months in the summer, and then you don't need to be resident here. So that's not a touristic as such, right?
There's a difference.
It's a very, very, very thin line between long, short, and touristic. Touristic is more like a hotel or a business, basically, right?
Yeah, sure.
So the middle one is the short one, but the short one will be minimum 15 weeks, as we have always done in Spain, 15 weeks in August, 15 weeks. But you don't advertise that in the platforms that we are all used to. It's more about word of mouth or just the estate agent that rent it out.
Sure. Yeah.
But yes, we'll be doing and probably introducing a company who could do as well this service for people, because a lot of people are abroad and they really need the service. Mm-hmm. So it's good to rely on somebody that you could trust.
Yep.
Especially handing over the keys of your property.
More info on that in the next webinar then, and we'll let you know when that is. It may be on the day that you're back in for the final term here. Yeah. Now, let's talk to Clara then, because how's she doing so far?
Very good.
We can't really use the word intern because she's more qualified than that. It's not like a work experience place. How does it work? Well,
she could tell us what she's found in the office.
Yeah, so what's your journey? So you're from Spain, you're Spanish born, yeah?
Yes, I'm from Spain, and I'm right now studying a double degree in Spanish-French law, and now I'm working with them. This is a great opportunity to do an internship with them, and I'm just learning how a real international lawyer here in Spain work, and it's really amazing how much work they do, how professional they are. And it's really great to see every day a different case, and all of them running from one place to another, seeing one thing, calling to other people, and just talking to people. All of them are international, so it's really great to see everything and having this opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, having known him long enough, Ignacio and Pedro, that they didn't tell you to say that. It's definitely true. A real variety of stuff, and obviously they know what they're doing as well. It's a good firm to be in with to do it. So, is this how it works then when you're training to become a lawyer? You spend some time with a company. I think you do this. It is the same in the UK, like you do your articles or whatever it's called. So this is part of the actual official thing, right?
Yes, and normally here in Spain, while you're studying, you have to work with somebody like international. Well, in my case, international lawyers, because it's the specialty I like. But to work with lawyers in order to, when you finish, to be able to practice the profession. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Right, how long to go for you? Because it takes a long time, doesn't it? I mean, it's like 4 to 6 years sometimes.
Yes, for me, study is 4 years, and so next year I finish, and I'll see if I really like this, and I really want to practice. So what I've seen with them is that they're truly professionals, as said, and really hard work. So it's really interesting to be with them learning.
Yeah, and you're doing it in France as well.
Yes, in France. In France it's kind of different, the methodology they have. So it's quite great to experience that as well, to know how another country works, especially with law, because they did everything differently. Well, especially with the methodology. But yeah, it's great to compare how Spanish law works, French law works, and introducing this to an international world and the globalization and all this stuff.
Well, you could go in and do anyway, because I guess you speak French, do you?
Yes, I do.
And obviously you're Spanish and your English is great, so you're all set. But is there an area you're interested in specialising in?
Like what I really like is international, but there's a lot of kind of international. There's private international law, public international law. There's a lot of stuff in it. So what I'm seeing right now is what do I like the most, if the public side or the private side. With Ignacio, we work in the private side. So I'm like seeing like all these different side of the international law, private law, so it's quite interesting. So I really don't know right now what I like the most, but I truly know that I like the international side.
But what does that mean? Is that you working with businesses internationally,
yes,
or with private individuals?
Well, he's joining us with every single case that we deal with. And then, for example, the other day she came with me to the notary to deal with an international will. So she will be familiar with. It was an American client, but it was in that time only for Spanish assets. So she gets to learn the whole thing. Then we're trying to take her as well to court cases as well.
Yes,
so she could experience how it works, and then she knows when a client comes over, the questions they have, how everything's established. As Clara said, when you are at the university, you pretty much learn is the methodology,
the theory part.
Yeah.
Once you get to someone who works with it, you see that the practice is completely different.
That's the same with just about anything. I trained as a plumber from school, and you learn the basics in college, but once you get out on the building sites, nobody does all that. It's just totally different.
It's a real world, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it would be the same with training to be some nitwit on the radio as well. They teach you how to, do the stuff. But once you get on, you find yourself. Do it the way you do it.
It's quite interesting, Moody, because actually Clara is with Valencia University. And they do these kind of programs. So we signed the agreement with Valencia University to train her for this summer holiday. Well, summer, July and August, right? So it's quite official.
Yeah.
And I'm sure in France she could do the same.
Yes.
And it's quite interesting. But in the university, you normally learn the theory of things.
Yes, that's it.
And he comes to the real world. So when the problem starts, when the issues, when the unfairness things happen,
all the information you have to get in order to start something, that's something they don't teach us.
Well, yes, I mean they can teach you how this process works, but there's always going to be problems and a spanner thrown in the works somewhere along the line. English expression.
I think on training here, you learn more how to help people, how to assist people, how to sort things out.
And yes, as Ignacio said, like I'm right now looking how they start something, how they do things. So that's like I'm really learning from this. That's it. I like in university. I don't really. Of course we learn the theory, but in the practice is something completely different. So that's.
I think it's good. It's good. I always tell Clara and say this is a great opportunity for you guys to learn as much as you can, because you are really the winner here, because you're a sponge. You get everything. I think you make decision in the future for yourself. And it's not easy to find places. I mean, for me, it was in the old days. It was not that easy to find places.
What firm to go into?
Yeah, it's not that easy. And then they send so many CVs as well, and then you need to spend time with them. So it's not something that is very, very easy, or at least to enjoy and learn a lot. And I always say, Clara, you must enjoy as much as you can, because it's an experience, you see.
Yes, every day I say, Ignacio, I'll go with you everywhere I can, because that's like the best opportunity, and I never know if I'm going to have this opportunity again.
Yeah, it is. I mean, as I say, when I trained as a plumber, you do your bits at college, but then it was called a block release, so then you do 6 months working with a firm, on the sites. Then you go back and do some more theory, and then you go back out again. So it works. It's the best way to do it.
Actually, I think, Clara, the universities are doing these things, but in the old days we didn't have any practicum, what we call practicum. Oh, that it was always, as Clara said, theory, and the university used to say, we teach what we call juristas, which is not even lawyers, just a degree in law. but not lawyers. You know, it's just like you because as you know, when you have the degree, you could bid on a public auction or public sector. You could go to the bank. You could do a lot of things with the degree. You don't need to be a lawyer.
Sure.
But then you need the practicum side, which now is compulsory. Yes. But in the old days, it was not. So,
because no matter how interested you are in doing it and interested in learning the law, just doing it day after day, just the theory side, it's you're just going to get to you a little bit. You want to be out just seeing the real thing, being in court. You say,
I think, really and the real problems, because the theory is only one part of it, and then interpreting in the benefit of the client. Or helping the client to get the most out of it, or sorting problems, saving money to the client. It's always going around, Moody, and trying to do your best to accomplish that goal.
And you find out it's different from what you see on telly and in the movies. Have you got a favourite series of do you like legal shows? And
I was telling Nevius it's his firm, his international firm reminds me Suits. How they work, how they work and how they do.
I've not seen Suits, but that was the one with Meghan Markle in.
That's good one.
There's always something, and some are quite close to the reality. Some they have to make it interesting, obviously.
It's American.
But it's different. It's different from the reality.
Different procedure.
Yes, but the spiritual part, the way they go, the way they introduce themselves to the people.
Yes, I mean, in America, it's completely different style, isn't it? I mean, they even record the conversation with the other attorney in front of you, and that would never ever happen here. It's like going with your client, being cross-examined in front of the other lawyer, being recorded. And having that as an evidence, wow.
You don't do that, no?
No. You do it through the courts only, And subpoenaing somebody and handing over the claim and taking a picture of you serving the letter onto him, that doesn't exist here,
Right.
Yeah, he's the police, the one who subpoena you.
Yeah.
And,
it's quite,
different. But the spirit of it,
that's what I was
with
saying.
Clients.
Yes, with clients, the way you go,
They have to take a bit of license because they can't show you sitting around for 2 hours waiting for the judge to turn up. It's no fun.
It's no fun.
No, right. But are they still having to do the temperature limits in the public buildings?
No.
No, it's 27.
Well, I haven't seen it happening, so...
No, okay.
This year, I think...
Energy costs have come down a little bit. So it's not so much. All right.
Thank God.
We're out of time. We're really eating into Dougie Mack's show already, but it's great to catch up with you. You're lucky to have her on board there, I think, Clara. So,
obviously, we'll keep in touch, buddy. We'll see you on our next 2 weeks.
Yes, if you'll be in there, yes.
And hopefully, Clara will be with us, and then we'll enjoy the webinar.
Yeah, you're welcome back. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so if we don't see you anyway, all the best with everything, and pop back in if you possibly can.
Pellicer and Heredia, your international lawyers based on the Costa Blanca, have been looking after the expat community for over a decade. Our high-quality webinars are free and informative, with regular guest speakers covering everything from wills and inheritance to residency and post-Brexit visa options. Find out when we're next going live at alicantilawyers.es.